Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. It's 3 a.m. and I can't sleep. Been like this almost a week. Demon flames till they got high. Love the heat, but I fear the fire. Knew I had to choose. Finally had to choose. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. It's you. I knew I had to choose. Coming home to you, baby, it's you. Beat the flames till they got high. Love the heat, but I feared the fire. Did our time in lots of bars. Seen my share of falling stars. I had to choose. I finally had to choose. Yes, you. Baby, yes, you. I knew I had to choose. Coming home to you. Got this Silverado wound up tight, burning down the interstate and tearing through the night. I took my shot and took a hit. Got the homesick blues without you. There's nothing left to lose. It's 5 a.m., it's getting light. Tennessee is out of sight. One more hour, I'll make Mobile. Barely hanging on this old wheel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. A warm thank you to Jaden Holman, Edmonton-based singer-songwriter, who has shared stages with the likes of Alan Jackson, Loverboy, and Bryan Adams. And he's a very special member of the Little Warriors family. Jaden is the son of CEO Dr. Wanda Polzenhoven. We're happy he was here to share his talent with us today, and he'll be back a little bit later on, so thanks very much, Jaden. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Gregor from Sports1440 and OrdersNation.com. I'm very honored and humbled to be your MC here again today. This is I get to do a lot of MC events over the years, and this is probably the most important one I do, I'll be honest. Unfortunately, my mother was a survivor of sexual abuse as a child, so it's something that hits close to home. It's always an emotional day. I'm not even sad and I get teary-eyed. It's kind of funny, so just get used to that. That's how it's going to be today. It's a very special day. This is the biggest room we've had, almost 900 people today, which is awesome. So thank you for coming. What I did notice walking around is not only it's the biggest group, this might be the best looking crowd we've ever had in here. So give yourself a round of applause. You're all looking good. I like it. And yes, I'm buttering you up for later, so pay attention. Okay. Very glad that you were able to join us here today. We'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional lands of many First Nations and Métis people. We honor their enduring connection to this land and are grateful to come together here in a spirit of peace and friendship. Your presence here today reminds us of something powerful. When a community chooses to show up for children, incredible things happen. And that's what you're doing here today, so thank you so much. At Little Warriors, their work is rooted in 3 beliefs: prevention, healing, and hope. Their Prevent It workshop has now reached over 47,000 adults across the country of Canada, equipping everyday people with the knowledge and the tools to help prevent children and protect them from sexual abuse, because protection starts long before the harm occurs. And I really think if there's one message you take away from today is that we need to be diligent. We see it right now. Everybody knows what's going on, the Epstein files. Our society doesn't want to answer what happens in sex. We try to hide from it. Sadly, some people try to make it political. We got to be past that, right? Your job as a human being is to protect others. And when you see it, speak out. It's hard, but your courage will help others. So hopefully there's fewer survivors down the road. And when a child does need support, the Be Brave Ranch is there. Their specialized trauma-informed treatment center provides intensive care for children and families impacted by child sexual abuse, a place where the healing begins and where futures are reclaimed, and it is powerful. Just think that you go through a tough time and you have people, in a lot of cases strangers, willing to help you. It gives you hope and belief that the future for you can be attainable. Your choosing to be here directly supports that work. So before we get started, a few things I'd like you to know. The online auction is open right now, so please look it up. There's a QR code right on your table in front of you. Bid, scan it, check everything out. All the proceeds will go directly to the Be Brave Ranch, and bidding closes, and I tell you right now, Wanda and Marianne and the team here, there's no joking. When it says it ends at 1:15, it ends at 1:15. So don't think you're gonna get in late. Be sure to get in and bid right up until 1:15. So take a peek early and bid often. We also want to take a moment to recognize some of the incredible sponsors whose generosity make this event and the work at the Be Brave Ranch possible. Our presenting sponsors, Flaman and Fluid Life. Your belief in Little Warriors means everything to them, so thank you very much. To our legacy sponsors, A&D Tutoring, the Yakimek Group, and Wizard Lake Marine. There are countless causes you could have chosen to support, and they're truly honored that you've chosen Little Warriors. To the Little Warriors sponsors, Stahl Peterbilt, Keller Construction, Bowline Logistics, and Open Circle, your support helps them show up for children and families every day. Please don't take it for granted. It means a lot. And to our Courage sponsors, Delta Valley Landscaping and Trixie Rowan of Raymond James. Thank you for your continued commitment to the community and the cause. So now let's get started. We got a great program for you today. It's gonna be very uplifting, it's gonna be very emotional, and I really think it's gonna touch your heart. There's someone in the Little Warriors family who embodies the spirit of the work that they do. Someone who has shown up year after year after year. Open arms, and most importantly, with an open heart. Please join me in welcoming a beloved member of their community, Donna Saskew, known to many as simply Grandma Dawn, to help us set our intentions and carry us into the afternoon with gratitude. Donna?
Thank you for the welcome. I'm a crier too. I am honored to be here and grateful to set an intention for this gathering and the meal before us. In a world that can feel uncertain, my heart believes there is more good than evil, and each of you in this room and those who embrace Little Warriors and the work they do is testimony of that. May we pause to connect with the light within, and from that place, plant the seeds of love, compassion, understanding, and kindness. Seeds that have the power to heal, connect, and transform. Together, our light can guide these brave children out of the darkness and into lives rooted in courage, resilience, and hope. When we stand together in that purpose, these seeds will not only grow, they will bloom and they will shine. May this meal nourish our bodies, mind, and spirit as we set forth courageously on the path of ending childhood sexual abuse. Thank you.
All right, so lunch is going to be served right away, so enjoy. We continue our program through lunch, so please just be respectful and mindful a little bit. Try to limit the clinking of the glasses. Big thank you to the incredible team here at the Edmonton Convention Center for the care and hospitality. Just a big round of applause for the servers and everybody here that's going to bring our food tonight. We'd also like to recognize Stall Peterbilt for the beautiful centerpieces on your table today, a lovely touch that sets the tone for the afternoon. And before we leave today, one lucky person at every table is going to be able to take that home with you. I'll tell you how we do that after our speakers are done here today. Also, a heartfelt thank you to Trixie Roan of Raymond James, our volunteer sponsor, whose generosity and dedication to Little Warriors in this event has made a meaningful difference year after year. Trixie, thank you so much for all your hard work and dedication. And speaking of people who show up, they're incredibly thankful for the volunteer team from Starbucks, longstanding partner of Little Warriors. I know most of you could barely even get here if you didn't have your Starbucks and your special order. So glad to hear that they're here to get you through the day. So now, I'm going to welcome our first guest up to the stage. Minister Cyril Turton serves as Alberta's Minister of Children and Family Services, and his commitment to the well-being of kids and youth across the province is something we deeply respect. We're grateful for his advocacy and for making time to be with us here today. Please join me in welcoming Minister Turton.
Well, thank you very much for that warm introduction, and to Little Warriors for bringing us here today. Through providing awareness, prevention, and treatment, you are helping children find hope and healing from sexual abuse. To the sponsors, and of course the donors attending today's lunch, thank you for supporting this critical work that makes such a difference in the lives of so many children in our province. You are helping create a better future for children and youth in need. And it's especially fitting that here today, in May, it's Sexual Violence Awareness Month. Commemorating this month is a reminder that every Albertan deserves to live free from sexual violence and abuse. Now, the impacts of sexual abuse can be devastating, as so many people in this room are aware. But the dedication of the Little Warriors team to children, youth, families, and caregivers shows that how we respond can completely change someone's healing journey. On top of the services that are so important, it's showing up and letting a child know that they are safe and supported. This month and every day, we all have a role in protecting children. Each one of us has a responsibility to stand up, to speak out, and take actions to make our communities safer and more welcoming for all. It's up for all of us to know the signs of abuse and neglect and report any concerns for a child's well-being. And just want to say, you can report those concerns by calling the 24/7 Child Intervention 1-800-638-0715. If you see something that worries you, don't wait. The work that Little Warriors does every day is helping prevent sexual abuse before it begins and ensuring vulnerable children and youth can find a safe, empowering space to access the supports that they need. And that is why I'm very proud of our government's ongoing commitment to provide $5 million over 3 years to Little Warriors. That's right. Since this funding was announced in 2024, and I have to say, in my role as Minister of Children and Family Services, it was one of the proudest days of my life. We've already rolled out more than $3 million and are investing $1.7 million this year to help children and youth on their healing journey. This helps more children, youth, and families access critical services. And I understand that this has led to support for hundreds of people and more than 17,000 hours of in-person therapy. It is making a difference. When I visited the Be Brave branch, I saw how your team empowers young people impacted by sexual abuse, helping them find their voice and build their confidence in some of their most difficult times. So thank you for helping those vulnerable children and youth in need. You've also created strong partnerships with Indigenous communities and agencies that provide culturally relevant support, such as traditional healing ceremonies, as part of your therapeutic programming. And I am proud that Alberta's government is working with you and walking alongside you. Together, we can help keep our communities safe from sexual violence and abuse. And as we honor the work of Little Warriors here today, let's continue to step up and protect Alberta's children. Each of us can make a difference by taking time to check in with young people that are in our lives, listening without judgment, learning to recognize signs of abuse, and speaking up when something just doesn't feel right. When we create homes, schools, and workplaces and neighborhoods where children and families feel safe and supported, we can help stop abuse before it begins. So thank you for standing together with Little Warriors and for doing your part to help improve the communities where every child can grow up with dignity, safety, and hope. Thank you so much for being here today, and have a great lunch. Take care.
Thank you, Minister Turton. Appreciate it. At the heart of everything that Little Warriors does, like in any corporation, any business, any team, sports guy, many of you are obviously sports fans in the room, probably of some team or another. And when you have good leadership, you got a much better chance of success. Maybe even at your business. You've had the opportunity to have a boss or a leader, and when you go work for them, all of a sudden you feel empowered and you feel like you can make a difference. And it's no different at Little Warriors. And you need what's maybe different at Little Warriors, you need a ton of compassion, you need expertise to do this work every day. Because a lot of us, we come to this luncheon and, we get to hear about it for one day or, not many. But when you go through it every day, it can be heavy. And it can be powerful to see a lot of success, but also painful to see a lot of the pain that's endured at the Be Brave Ranch for all these young kids. And Dr. Wanda Poles and Holman has been instrumental in shaping the programs at the ranch championing trauma-informed care and ensuring that every child and family who walks through the door receives the support they deserve. Her vision and dedication are what drive the organization forward, along with her empathy. And I do have to say, honestly, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to talk to Wanda, but she has like the most soothing voice ever. And she'll just make you feel good and she'll make you feel calm. And I can only imagine how just her voice probably makes it easier for those first initial meetings with the kids. So please join me in welcoming the CEO of Little Warriors, Dr. Wanda Polson-Holman, as well as Dogs with Wing Rugby. I actually had the opportunity to house rugby with Dogs with Wing when he was a pup. And so it's great that I get to see him every year. He's an unbelievable dog, and I can see how he makes the kids feel great.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jason, and thank you, everyone, for showing up today. This is an incredible day because we've been doing this for over 13 years, and in the 13-year history, we have not had more people than we have today. So, yeah, thank you. Dogs with Wings Rugby and I are honored to be able to stand up here today representing the vulnerable children, teens, and families who we serve, to act as an advocate for those who are currently on our waiting list and for those who unfortunately require our services. I say unfortunate because the devastating problem of child sexual abuse and exploitation is not going away. And in fact, the statistics are quite grave. It may be shocking to some of you to understand why Little Warriors is needed and why we continue to actually grow, but the evidence is quite clear. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys under the age of 18 will experience an unwanted sexual act. 95% of child sexual abuse occurs by someone who should be in a place of safety and who's well known to that child or teen. Summary research is showing that the average age of disclosure of child sexual abuse is actually 52 years of age. So that's a lot of years where children grow into teens, grow into adults, and have the impacts along with them. There's an 815% increase in Canada alone of child sexual abuse luring. 78% increase in making and distributing child sexual abuse material in the last 5 years alone. What we are witnessing currently in the world media is that child sexual abuse has become a form of passing time and of entertainment. We see it on all of our social media feeds. It's everywhere. I fear that in some way, this is desensitizing us all. Children should not be seen as commodities. We should, and I know that many of us in this room continue to be major advocates and are enraged by what's happening, but being enraged isn't enough. It doesn't change the trajectory for children and teens. It only continues to manifest more problems. One of my favorite quotes is by Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's quoted as saying, "Loving people live in a loving world, and hostile people live in a hostile world. Yet it's the same world." This perspective emphasizes that our external world is a reflection of our internal state. This is something that we teach at the Be Brave Ranch and within Little Warriors. We think that it's so important for all of us to stand up for kids, and the loving people in the loving world is actually all up to us in this room. For those of you who are new today, welcome, and I hope that you'll stay within our warrior group. Little Warriors provides a continuum of care from prevention to intensive episodic treatment. In the past 7 years, we have essentially tripled in size. Our free Prevent It workshop, by the way, did I say free? It is free to everyone that wants it. And it's very, very important that all adults are taking this workshop. It's 90 minutes online and 3 hours in person. And we're able to deliver this because we have volunteers from all across the country who are committed to sharing the word and advocating on behalf of children and teens. We need money to do this, and each year, Little Warriors, our exceptional team, raises over $5 million to do this work. We take it very seriously, and we don't just want to do the work. We want to do the work exceptionally well. Dr. Peter Silverstone will be talking about our research and our outcome measures, and that's witness to the fact that we are, in fact, doing it extremely well. The good news is that the research on this is telling us that for every $1 invested in the work that Little Warriors does, we are saving taxpayers $11. So 1 million, $11 million. And this is saved over time in areas like mental health, addiction, justice system, education, workforce. I could go on. So what we're doing today is coming together to stand up for kids and change the trajectory for generations to come. I encourage you now to ask yourself what brought you here today. And beyond that, going inside and asking how I can intentionally show up and bring value. Many of you consistently bring value to our work, and I'm so grateful for that. At Little Warriors, we truly believe that we all have the capacity to show up for ourselves, for each other, and for the children and families that are served. We have many of you showing up today, such as Elizabeth sharing her story. We have a graduate, Luca, who will be sharing her story. Rugby with his soulful eyes, connecting with you all. We just ask that you think about how you can bring value, because I know that every single person in this room can do that. It's important for us to come together and stand up for kids. It's important that we bravely have tough conversations that bring awareness to the issue of sexual abuse, and not just here, not just in the next hour and a half, but when we go home, when we're talking to our partners, when we're talking to our children and neighbors. Trauma is a physiological injury. It rewires the brain for protection. We know and we see that there is fight, flight, freeze responses that happen as a result. And this impacts dramatically people's mental health and their emotional regulation, their memory, their ability to plan, relationships, on and on. With your support, we've been able to support children and families and change the direction that they've been moving in, from devastation to hope and healing. Little Warriors has now spoken on 2 separate occasions in the last year in the House of Commons regarding topics such as coercive control and online harms. More recently, we've also received a grant towards a 3-year action plan to put forward a child sexual abuse prevention framework in Canada. We've also published in several scientific journals, including the Journal of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry in Canada and the Journal of Clinical Social Work. And we've received a measurement-based award from Greenspace for the work that we do. Our clinical team continues to work very hard and take this seriously. So today is an opportunity for us to acknowledge the important and incredible work that is bravely happening at Little Warriors and at the Be Brave Ranch. It's happening by children as young as 8 years old. It's hard to fathom. It's really hard to imagine. I'm not going to share some of the stories because I think that other speakers will demonstrate and share that today. But in a few minutes, I'm going to share a little slideshow from the Be Brave Ranch. As you'll see, it's a special place filled with love, filled with hope, filled with healing. And I encourage each and every one of you, if you haven't come to take a tour, to do so. Schedule that today. We're happy to have you. I want to just share that all of the images that I'm sharing are approved of for me to share, and they're coming directly from the treatment center. Of note, I'm warning the staff that there's a small little video in there from our graduation of our staff celebrating the children and teens that we work with. So without your kind and generous support, none of this would otherwise be possible. And as the video is playing, I will ask that Dr. Silverstone come on up. So I'm very pleased to introduce you all to Dr. Peter Silverstone. I've had the pleasure of working with him at the Be Brave Ranch and with Little Warriors for now 8.5 years. Dr. Silverstone is instrumental in providing guidance in our clinical and scientific council, and we continue to publish information that he will share with you all. So welcome, Dr. Silverstone.
Thank you. I didn't know what Wanda would say. I'm a professor of psychiatry. I emphasize the word professor, which means we get to talk a lot. And by provide guidance, it's a polite way of saying I do talk a lot. And I've been chairing the Scientific Advisory Committee for 10 years now. And it is amazing to see the progress that this particular organization has had. It is the only one to really follow scientific principles. What works, what doesn't? How do we measure it? How do we show? So Wanda asked me to give a talk today, and it's a very simple premise. We have at least 10 full peer-reviewed studies. I usually give an hour talk describing all this. And she says, I have 2 slides, 5 minutes maximum, but if you can cut it down, that's really good. But as I said, it's hard with me. I'm sorry in advance, Wanda. And last but not least, if you can point out where she was right and I was wrong, that would be kind of icing on the cake. So you're going to see all of that. So first slide. This slide, as I say, summarizes vast amounts of work. we have had this incredible collection from over 200 survivors who have gone through the full program for a year. And basically, the first takeaway from this slide is very simple. Everything improves. Everything we have measured scientifically, and the rigor behind this, I can go into at separate occasions, shows that the program works. There isn't another organization like this anywhere in the world. This is outcome-based. You very kindly support this organization. This money goes to help kids who need it, and it changes their lives. One of the words I keep using is it changes their trajectories dramatically. And all of these things go up. This is the percentage increase. And a particular favorite of mine is the self-esteem. I've been working in self-esteem, published my first article in there in 1990, because I am that old. And increasing self-esteem is much, much harder than you would imagine. It really is, and all kinds of programs I've tried have not seen these results. So these are stunning results. PTSD rates go down 40%. Again, massively fantastic results, and you can see that this changes. The blue is at 3 months, the orange is at 6 months, and the green is at 12 months. So where was I wrong and Wanda was right? I was saying early on, I thought we should just do shorter programs. And Wanda, who was running the program, said, no, 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 we have to do a year, this is how it works. And I was saying, really? Show me the data. And it does. What turns out to happen is that every few months, when you reinforce the program, these survivors do better. And so it's become really, really clear that this intensive programming provided by Little Warriors makes a meaningful difference for hundreds and hundreds of survivors. Next slide, please. This is my second slide, which is just one individual, and it shows a pattern of change over those 12 months. And this is just one of the multiple measures we've done. This is the depression measure. And within the depression measure, you can see all the different things that we measure. Interest, feeling down, trouble sleeping, feeling tired. This is a very standard scale, suicidal thoughts. And you can see that in the red, the scores of 3 are severe and high. Gradually over time, they drop to 2s, and eventually they're 1s, and even 0s. So this is one individual, but emblematic and typical of the progress that is made. And so I'll just end on the final note. I remain in awe of the people, both who survive and you hear about and talk about it, and also the providers, Wanda and her team at Little Warriors. They are fantastic. They are world-class. Thank you for supporting them. Please join me in thanking them all.
I think Wanda's going to come back to the stage now. Yes, she is. Thank you.
I'm up here very quickly, but I think we're getting to the most important part, which is our speakers. I have the absolute privilege and honor to be able to introduce Luca to the stage today. I want to share a few things about Luca. Luca is a graduate of Little Warriors in the Be Brave Ranch, but what's most important to know about Luca is this amazing, brilliant, resilient, super smart and funny young woman. She actually taught me something in round 1 of therapy. It was one of the very last rounds of therapy that I was directly involved in. And one of the things that we were talking about is healing and boundaries and having, different ways forward in life. And there was some other girls that were in her cohort that weren't always as kind and positive as Luca. And I said, no, when you do the work, good things can happen. And one of the girls said, you know what, I'm not healed. this is sort of crap, and none of this is going to work. And Lucas said, yet. And I said, pardon? And Lucas said, yet. And you'll all find cards on your table because this was just profound to me. I love this so much. And when we celebrated Luca's graduation, it was very clear that many things hadn't happened yet, but here we are today, Luca flourishing and doing amazing things out in the world and will continue. So this is just part of the yet journey. So we hope that you'll take those cards and hopefully it's a nice reminder for you. So Luca, come on up to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I've got my handful of papers here. So I just want to say good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here today and for inviting me to share my experience with the Little Warriors and Be Brave Ranch. It truly means a lot to stand here in a room full of people who care so deeply about something that changes lives. Now, I wasn't exactly your typical Be Brave Ranch participant. When I arrived, I was weeks away from turning 18. I had just started reliving a trauma that I had kept buried for nearly 10 years. Put that down. It was a quiet, hidden pain, the kind you convince yourself you can handle alone. And the truth is, this isn't uncommon. Across Canada, many individuals who experience childhood sexual abuse delay disclosure until adulthood, or never disclose at all. For me, disclosure didn't come easily. It came after years of struggling with depression, PTSD, and eventually even attempts on my own life. I have to say, without my parents, I wouldn't be here. They were, and still are, one of my #1 cheerleaders. Because of them, I was in a hospital room the day I finally came out about my trauma, after years of silence and years of burying everything. For so long, my mind had built a wall, a really strong one. Honestly, if emotional walls came with construction permits, mine would have passed every inspection. My brain worked overtime to protect me from what I had experienced. And like many survivors, that meant I forgot my assault. And when I say forgot with air quotes, I say forgot with air quotes because the brain is powerful, but the body doesn't forget. When that wall finally came down, everything came rushing back. The months that followed were overwhelming. It felt like drowning in emotions I couldn't control. Fear, anger, grief, confusion. I used to think the abuse was the worst thing that had ever happened to me. But honestly, those months afterward were a very close second. Because feeling everything at once is terrifying. And in trying to cope with that, I went down a path of substance abuse and reckless behavior, which eventually led my parents to reach out to the Be Brave Ranch. I remember those first conversations. They described this incredible place, a ranch dedicated to helping youth heal from trauma. And I remember thinking, that sounds amazing. And then immediately thinking, I don't belong there. Because the word was youth, and I felt like I had missed my chance. I had carried this pain for so long and stayed silent for so long that I thought maybe this was just my consequence, that I would have to live with that pain forever. But then we found out there was a group for older youth. And just like that, a door opened. Even then, I didn't feel like I belonged. I'd spent years building a very creative set of coping mechanisms. Not great ones, but very committed ones. I'd gotten very, very good at masking my pain. But deep down, I knew it was time to try something different. So I went. From the moment I arrived, it was a constant internal battle. Part of me wanting to keep hiding, and part of me knowing I couldn't keep living that way. What changed everything was the people. The staff at the ranch met me exactly where I was. No judgment, no pressure, just patience, support, and understanding. Through therapy sessions, art, time in nature, and even rocking the guitar in GarageBand, I slowly started to let that mask fall away. And in my cabin, I found something I didn't expect. Safety. Real safety. There were kind-hearted staff, people who understood without needing everything explained. We do simple things, going for walks, looking for snakes, picking wildflowers, and reading on the couch. When I was practicing, I wouldn't stop saying wildfires. I was not picking any of those. And those moments mattered, because healing isn't always big, dramatic breakthroughs. Sometimes it's just sitting next to someone and not feeling alone. Of course, there was also the hard work. The program helped me untangle my trauma, piece by piece, looking at emotions I had avoided for years, understanding them, naming them, learning how to cope with them, and eventually facing the truth. The truth that my abuse wasn't one moment, it was years. It was a childhood shaped by instability, by a mother who struggled with addiction and trauma herself. And the worst of it came from someone who was supposed to be safe, someone who lived in my home, someone I stayed silent about to protect the people around me. It wasn't until I moved to Saskatchewan with my dad that the abuse stopped. But even then, the impact didn't. But at the ranch, for the first time, I was able to understand the roots of my trauma. And once I understood the roots, I could finally start healing outwards. With the help of my therapist, Danielle, I began the process of reporting my abuser. It's still ongoing, but it gave me something I hadn't felt in a long time: control, hope. The feeling that maybe I wasn't going to live the rest of my life in fear. And I wasn't doing it alone. There was always someone there. Cheryl, our art therapist, helped us channel emotions through art, finding meaning in colors and shapes. Our group therapist, Sandra, introduced us to equine therapy, where the horses grounded us in ways words sometimes couldn't. And our Ranas, or cabin staff, were with us every step of the way. And then there was one moment that stuck with me more than anything. It was a sunny summer morning, and we were walking to the lodge, and there were bumblebees everywhere by the front doors. Now, logically, we probably should have kept walking, but instead we stopped. We picked little flowers and held them out, hoping a bee would land. And eventually, one did, right in my hand. And I know that sounds small, but at that moment, something clicked. That little bee just kept going, doing its thing, no hesitation. And I realized I had survived. And just like that bee, I was going to keep going too. I felt ready when it came to graduate from the ranch. Not perfect, not healed forever, but ready. The graduation wasn't just an ending, it was a beginning. A doorway into a life I didn't think I would get to have. A life not controlled by fear, but guided by strength. And standing there, surrounded by people who had supported me, my family, my friends, the staff. I felt hope. When we talk about the Be Brave Ranch, we're not just talking about a program. We're talking about a place that meets people at their lowest and helps them rebuild. A team that shows up every single day for youth who don't believe they're worth showing up for. A place where healing is real, messy, slow, difficult, and absolutely possible. On my graduation day, I shared a song I had written during my time at the ranch. It tells the story of that journey through pain, fear, and healing, and how through all of it, I found strength. I found my voice, and I became a warrior. And because of that, I get to stand here today as someone I never thought I could become. Today, I'm a university student working towards becoming a nurse. I'm also involved in advocacy work, supporting movements that bring awareness to childhood sexual abuse, and standing alongside other survivors like myself in the fight to end it. Because this doesn't just stop with healing ourselves. It continues in how we show up for others, how we speak, how we refuse to stay silent. And in the middle of all that, some things about me haven't changed. I still pick up my guitar and rock out from time to time. I still curl up on the couch with my nose stuck in a good book. But the difference now is that I do those things freely. Not weighed down by the chains my abuse kept me in for so many years. Now, don't get me wrong, healing isn't a take a pill and everything's fixed kind of situation. I still struggle. I still live with my trauma every single day. But I don't live in it the same way anymore. I live from a place of strength, from a place of growth, from a place of being a warrior. And that's what this next piece means to me. It tells the story of moving through pain, fear, and uncertainty, and finding strength on the other side. Thank you again for listening to my story. And now I'd like to share that song with you. It's called A World Worth Fighting For. I've been through hell, but I'm still standing tall. Lost in the darkness, thought I had lost it all. Every scar, a story no one else could see. But I'm still here, fighting to be free. Still breathing, still beating, though it seems as though it's lost its meaning. Show me a world that I deserve, where all my fears and doubts subserve. I can't stop now, not just yet. Show me a world worth fighting for. Take me to places I've never seen.
stop now. No, not just yet. Show me a world worth fighting for. I'll rise above, I'll find my way, build a life worth living for, nothing more than a hope to build a broken heart, chasing dreams we can't ignore, finding strength to make a start. So I won't stop now. No, not just yet. Till I find a world worth fighting for. Thank you so much. A standing ovation. Oh my God. Okay, your hands must hurt. Sit down. Out of here.
Luca, thank you so much for your courage and your honesty and for trusting your story with the room. You shared a great gift and a great reminder, and very happy to see that you've literally found your voice. That is awesome. What a beautiful voice. Thank you so much. Can only imagine how healing that process might have been, just to write a song discussing your own journey and then having the courage to share with everybody else. That's incredibly powerful. As we're here today, there was a part of Elizabeth's story that really, I think, caught my ear, is when she talked about how people asked her, well, would you have done this different? Or would you have done that different? And sadly, that's usually a lot of people's first initial reaction when it comes to sexual abuse, whether it's for kids or for teenagers or for adults. And you don't know that you mean it, but you're essentially putting the blame on the survivor that they should have done something different, right? In that moment, no one knows. I love her example. No one's taught how to survive or what to do when someone rapes you. What do you do when your uncle or your dad or your mom or your grandma climbs into your bed when you're a child? We never talk about it because it's uncomfortable, right? That's the biggest issue right now in our society, is that we're not willing to have the uncomfortable conversations, right? We can see Luca and Elizabeth, and you see survivors, and you see them strong, but you don't see them when they were scared to death, being threatened to death, being raped, being abused. And because most of us can't picture that other human beings would do that, right? If you're a rational, sane person, you wouldn't think about raping your daughter, anal raping your son. You wouldn't do it. But there are people that do it, way more than we think. And we come together today, and I know that that's a heavy conversation, but if we never have the conversation, it's not gonna change, right? We can't keep our heads in the sand thinking that we're getting better, because the numbers aren't getting better. Now the fact that you're here today, that's the first step, because you acknowledge it's a problem and you wanna support. And support's a big deal, and there's lots of different ways to do it. And right now, we're gonna do it because I think it's important. And when you see survivors, not just surviving, but thriving, like Luca and Elizabeth, that's why you support people. Because they didn't ask to have their world destroyed. Think about it, what's the hardest thing you've had to endure the last week? For some of you, it's the Oilers losing in the playoffs. It's a tough one, but it's really not that hard when you think about it, right? Imagine being a teenager or a child and you get raped. Not only the physical toll it takes on you, but the emotional toll. And then every night when you go to sleep, that's what you think about. Because that's the truth, right? You're a diehard Oilers fan. You live and breathe. You're frustrated. Guess what? You don't go to sleep every night laying in bed. You might do it for one night. And then you get over it. Right? And then you think about something else, and you think about, well, maybe we can fire the coach, and maybe we can fire the GM, and maybe we can trade Nurse, whatever it is you think about, right? And that's okay. But for victims of sexual abuse, regardless of age, that never goes away. And so that's why we're ultimately here today, is to help those people so they can get their life back on track, because they never asked for that. And none of you would ever want that for your son, your daughter, your kids' friends, your nephew, your niece, yourself. You'd never want it. Because sadly, while I know that we support kids for sure, but there are still lots of adults. Unfortunately, in our society, you're never safe from sexual abuse. It's awful. So, how can we support? Today, we're gonna do something very quick. It's gonna take maybe 5 minutes, max. And it's gonna be very simple. And so there's 2 levels you can do it in. As I mentioned off the top, my mom, she actually just turned 81 on Sunday. And my mom wrote a lot of books. My mom was sexually abused as a child, very young, and in a time where no one obviously talked about it. She didn't know what happened. And she didn't have the Be Brave ranch. My mom grew up as a teenager and into her adult life, suffered deeply with depression. Stuff that you never knew about, you see your mom. She did a good job of hiding it from his kids, right? There's probably things, I go see a therapist and you discuss things in your life and you realize why, like, generational trauma is legit. And it impacts you even if it didn't impact you. And I've seen my mom, who's pretty strong, and when she talks about that, and you still see it, like I never really understood why my mom got so angry when someone tried to tell her what to do. Now, most of us don't like it, but she'd get pretty fiery. And because in that moment, when she was a young child, she didn't know what to do. She didn't have the strength or the whereabouts to fight back at that stage of her life. And so internally, she vowed that that would never happen again. And so when I see my mom at 81, and there's days when she talks about it, luckily my mom did a lot of dream therapy and workshops to overcome her depression, because she didn't really know, she had put it so deep in her subconscious that she didn't really remember. And then through a lot of work and therapy for many, many years, she figured out what happened. And she was able to heal, not forget, but heal. And she's gone on to have a wonderful life. She's got lots of grandkids. She's pretty happy. She's pretty healthy. She got her doctorate. She was a teacher. She's helped lots of people. She does dream workshop therapy still with lots of people who are victims and survivors of sexual abuse. And so, in honor of my mom, who's 81, today we're going to go around the room, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there who have someone in their life that it's hard sometimes. You feel helpless because you can't help that person. And obviously, I wasn't alive when my mom was little. Couldn't do anything. But I'm sure a lot of you have felt that vulnerability, felt helplessness, to want to help people. So here's your chance to maybe help the person in your life, someone you know, and ultimately you're going to pay it forward to lots of these kids who you don't know, and that's the greatest gift you can give someone is hope. And so today we're going to do it very quickly. So in honor of my mom, I don't like asking people for money if I don't do it myself. So like anybody in the room, and I know a lot of you guys in the room, so you're not going to want me to call you out because I know certain guys in here can easily stand up. So we got about 900 people. I got a number in my head, and we're going to do 2 levels. The first level is going to be the highest one, $1,000. I'm going to donate $1,000 to the Be Brave Ranch, and I would hope that anybody in the room who wants to match it, and then we can get up. All you got to do is stand up so I can count the numbers because I got a number in my head. All right? So please do it. It's $1,000 to help. You don't have to say who it is. Stand up, put your hand up, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Now, is there anybody else who wants to get us to 40? Funny enough, that was the number I had in my head. That's $40,000 in a minute. Who wants to do it? You do 1,000. Thank you very much. There's 40 right there. Thank you very much. Now, see how easy that was? It's $40,000, a group of people coming together just by standing up. Now, the next level, because everybody's different financial situation, doesn't matter, right? I'm also going to donate $500 in honor of Luca, because I love her story. I love the fact that she wrote a song about her life and didn't let it, and she has a great voice, by the way. So anybody here who wants to donate $500 to somebody in their family, maybe in honor of Luca, maybe in honor of Elizabeth, please stand up, raise your hand, and we'll count that, and hopefully we can get over 50, right? So let's start over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 4 more, 37. We'd love to get to 40. 3 more. Who wants to do 3 more? Somebody in here wants to do 3 more. Just yell out your name, we'll get 3 more. 1, there's 1. 2 more. Who wants to do 2 more in here? 1 here, who wants, there we go. Another one there, another one. Thank you very much. Keep donating. That's over $60,000 in 3 minutes. That's a very generous group. Just in 3 minutes, we made a huge difference for lots of the kids at the Be Brave Ranch. Now, you have to follow through with it, of course. So, in order to do that, of course, is that you can make the donation. It's you see the QR code on your table. This is the honor system. I trust everyone. You'd have to be a real douchebag to stand up and then not donate the money, right? We don't want to call out names or anything, but I know the Be Brave Ranch, they got eyes on you, okay? They got video, they saw you. Don't even pretend that you can get out of it, okay? So, thank you very much, honestly, for raising your hand. And anybody here, if you want to do $10, $20, $25, regardless of your situation, every dollar counts and every dollar matters to help these kids. Because when you see success stories like Elizabeth, and more importantly, like Luca, because she went through the program, it's awesome to see where the dollars go to make such a difference in people's lives. Now, the online auction is going to be closing in a few minutes, so be sure to get on it. Don't think you can wait, because they're very strict here. They got a timeline. They want to get it to 1:15, okay? Also, if you take a peek right now at your coffee cup, look under your coffee cup in front of you. And if you have a dot under your coffee cup, you get to take home the centerpiece at your table, okay? It's awesome. So check your dot, check your coin. If you get it, you're the winner. Who doesn't like a good prize just for showing up? Thank you very much. Now, we got 2 very quick things, and these are very important awards. So I'd love you to pay attention for a few more minutes. You've been an awesome group today. So I'd like to join me in welcoming Angie DiBendetto from A&D Tutoring, as well as who's our Brave sponsor, and Deli McEwen, the Little Warriors Board of Director Chair, who are now going to present this year's Be Brave and Hero Awards.
to take these off to read. So welcome everyone. I wanted to say incredible speakers. Really hard to talk after listening to everyone speak. But again, thank you so much. At A&D Tutoring, our work is basically, my name is Angie DiBenedetto, first of all, just so we all know. And on behalf of A&D Tutoring, we really appreciate this opportunity to be here and support Little Warriors in its programming. At A&D Tutoring, our work is rooted in helping individuals build confidence and achieve their own successes on an educational level. That's why Little Warriors is so meaningful to us. The impact this organization has on children, youth, and families is powerful. It creates safety, healing, and hope where it's really needed the most. We're incredibly proud to stand alongside a community that believes in courage, resilience, and the importance of speaking up to really be brave. On that note, it is my honor to present the Be Brave Award to both Elizabeth Smart and to Luca. If you could please join me in congratulating both of our Be Brave Award recipients.
All right, every year I get up here and I got a speech in my pocket, and every year I don't give the speech because everything before it is just so much better than anything I could say. So I'll just thank, on behalf of the board, I want to thank everybody for coming. Packed house, raised a lot of money, and we couldn't do it without all of you, so just thanks for taking that emotional journey with us today. And one thing I'd like to do before I turn it over to the real reason why I'm standing up here, if you work for Little Warriors, or if you volunteer, can you stand up? Sometimes we go through these events and the people that put them on thank everybody else, but the fact is I see months and months of work that go into making something like this successful, and I just want to make sure we say thank you to those that did the work and that volunteered, so thanks very much. Now we get the opportunity to recognize a couple of very, very important people in our community, not just with the Little Warriors, but real community builders, a couple of folks that I'm really honored to have been part of on the board with them. So first off, I'll bring up Marcy Kiziak, one of our board directors, and she's gonna give an award.
Hello, everybody. I'm very short. Hang on, here we go. We're very pleased today. I got emotional every time I read this because I care so much about Guy. So Little Warriors is very proud today to recognize Guy Mercereau for his extraordinary, for his extraordinary commitment and care over the past 12 years. Guy and his lovely wife Donna have been longtime contributors to Little Warriors, and he is very warmly known as the guy who always knows a guy. From helping to renovate the ranch before it was officially opened, to building and chairing the resource committee, Guy's fingerprints are all over the ranch. He is a natural connector and a tireless advocate. Guy has brought people and companies and resources into our mission and helping to create the safe and nurturing space that the ranch is today. His leadership, warmth, and belief in the cause have shaped the organization and enriched so many of us, including me. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks to Guy. Now, I'll welcome up the former co-chair, still board director, but my partner, Kirsten Hain, to come up and present an award. My partner on the board.
Hi, everyone. Jason Pincock has been involved with our board of directors essentially since its inception. He has served so many roles, often more than one at a time, including co-chair for 7 years, vice chair, chair of the Audit and Finance Committee, mediator, diplomat, MC, and he is even the narrator of the Prevent It program. His commitment to the children, teens, and families served at Little Warriors has been unquestionable. Jason is deeply respected for his compassion, knowledge, and the ability to mediate complicated discussions and problems while creating clear understanding of solutions to move forward. He has brought people together, resources, and overall stability to our organization. His leadership across Little Warriors has earned the trust and admiration, certainly mine, of the board, our amazing staff and volunteers, our donors, and our partners. Jason, we will feel the impact of your contributions for years to come, and we will do our best to preserve the legacy that you've started.
Thank you and congratulations for all your hard work. We appreciate it, and so does everybody at Little Warriors. Before we bring the afternoon to a close, just a few people we want to recognize, some incredible sponsors. Mentioned how much money is raised and how much money is donated by sponsors allows this wonderful facility to keep helping and saving and rebuilding lives. So to our Hope sponsors, PCL Construction, Electrogas, Sureway Construction, and the Angus Watt Advisory Group with National Bank Financial, Brian Alsop, thank you for investing in the hope that you offer to children and families every day. To our Empower sponsors, Pattison, Smart Recovery, Printing Impressions, Alberta Blue Cross, South Bend Consulting, and Westland Insurance, your support empowers everybody at the Be Brave Ranch to do their work and do it well. To our support sponsor, Canadian Natural, thank you for standing behind Little Warriors. To our media sponsor, Global Edmonton, thank you for helping share the story with the broader community and amplify the voices that need to be heard. And really, to every sponsor, every donor, everybody in this room, you're all a part of it. Right? It takes a community to heal lots of people. And I can tell you that when you speak to someone who's been through the Be Brave Ranch, just the fact that a lot of strangers want to help them rebuild their life, that's more powerful than you think. So give yourselves a round of applause for showing up and helping today. A few other quick things. Little Warriors hosts lots of other great events during the year. On September 2nd is their 10th annual golf tournament at the Quarry. You also, this is the first year, they're very excited to announce that the Women Wellness Warriors Retreat is taking place at the beautiful Be Brave Ranch on November 21st. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's going to sell out very fast if you want to. All of the details for the events can be found in your event program, so be sure to look that up. And finally, we invite everybody on your way out to visit the lobby. Elizabeth is going to be hosting a book signing. You can pick up a copy of her latest book, Detours, Hope and Growth After Life's Hardest Turns. It's a powerful memoir of survival and healing that empowers readers to navigate life's detours, embrace resiliency, and find healing and purpose after adversity. It's an opportunity for you to meet Elizabeth personally and take a little bit of today's inspiration home with you. And before we leave, of course, we're going to welcome back to the stage Jaden Holman. So be sure to mingle and listen to his wonderful voice. And thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you again next year. This is our biggest crowd we've had. We hope to grow it again next year. And if you're really bored on your way home, listen to Sports 1440. Have a great day.
Way back when I was drifting, this is a song called Angel. No need for explanations. We couldn't if we tried. Like trying to tell a blind man about a full Montana sky. Like that same old blind man, you're safe in God's backyard. I know my dreams are safe with you, tucked inside your heart. You know that when I have to go, I won't be going far. That an angel on my shoulder, a homeward guiding star. Home is where we hang our hearts. Hang my where you are. You know that when I have to go, I won't be going far. Way back when I was drifting, before I found my way, I was flying blind and stuck inside a Louisiana hurricane. One night that stormed our town, and you were standing there. You know that when I have to go, I won't be going far. That an angel on my shoulder, a homeward guiding star. If home is where we hang our hearts, hang my where you shoulder, be the angel in my arms. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Thank you.